now there's a Lost Boys. Is there gonna be a Goonies one?
Yes. Goonies.
Yeah.
Goonies what?
Another Goonies movie. I want to see all the gang come back.
Yes. Barbara Streisand is starring in it as the lead role, and and Leonardo DiCaprio is now going to play Mal.
Did you see the documentary that guy made? Which he went to all the Goonies sites across where you guys filmed.
Oh, yeah.
And he did a documentary of his road trip with his friend. He went to like the house.
Wasn't I in it?
I don't know.
No,
I don't
know
think
there's
so.
one out there.
It's on
that
YouTube.
that
You can check
kids
it out.
made
It
that
is
I
really
did
good.
Do an interview
it's
for
very
somebody
interesting.
who did that, but no. Look, we would all love to see a Goonies sequel made, but see, what we did with Lost Boys was we kind of backed into the right recipe. You know, really. Like, we did the original film, everybody loved it, we all wanted to make a sequel, 20 years passed, it never got made. Warner Brothers, for whatever reason, got itchy and said, hey, gee, wouldn't it be great to continue that franchise and let's make a sequel? And they did, and it wasn't very good. And then we all had to kind of backpedal and make a really good one to make everybody happy again and love us. I don't think we would make that mistake with Goonies. With Goonies, we all already know what kind of sequel it would need to be. It holds a very, very, very special place in the hearts and minds of people all over the world. I mean, Lost Boys, you know, you have a little bit more leverage, like as far as like slip room. You know what I mean? There's a little bit more of a gray area because it's an adult film. Because
You get a vampire audience.
You know, it's a vampire. It's horror. It's sex and comedy and all that kind of stuff. With the Goonies, it is literally, honestly, in Warner Brothers' estimation, the greatest film in their entire family catalog. So, you know, a movie like that, that's so special to so many people, you can't just make a straight-to-DVD sequel. It's not going to work. Even in this day and age where DVD promotion is almost as strong as theatrical promotion, it's not going to hold up. It's got to be done for, you know, at least $50 million.
I put it up there with Raiders.
Yeah,
the first. I do.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't go and make some crappy or even maybe mediocre mid-level sequel. It's got to be better than the first. And that means it's got to be Spielberg. It's got to be Donner. It's got to be the entire original cast, or it's a no-go. Yep. And by the way, everybody that I just mentioned would love to see that happen. But it's really the folks at Warner Brothers who are holding on to that original with their lives.
They're good at that.
And, you know, they don't want to make it.
What do you think needs to be in the Goonies sequel? Besides bringing back the original cast, from a story perspective, what do you think? How would you envision that being?
You know, we've gone through many different ideas. There's been scripts written. There's been a lot of different, you know, versions of what it could be. At the end of the day, what would I see as being a sequel? I would see it being, obviously, you know, we're not kids anymore, so it would have to be all the kids who are now grown-ups together, and I would imagine them having their own kids, and their own kids are a bit mischievous, and they go off and have their own adventure, and somehow we get sucked into it and really pissed off about that. That would be, you know, what I would think would make the most sense. But that said, it's still probably never going to happen.
And then, you've been in the business. As long as I've been alive, it seems like. But how has movie marketing changed in promoting films with like the internet and advent, like social networking?
Well,
how has it affected how you do your job?
I'll put it to you this way: when we announced this new event that we're throwing, you know, with the help of Live Nation and Warner Brothers, my friends over at Live Nation said, "Where's your Twitter account? Where's your Twitter? You got to be on Twitter if you want to promote this thing." So by course of nature, I now have a Twitter account, so you can all follow me at Corey Feldman. Or wait, it's Corey_Feldman.
Yeah.
At Corey_. I'm still getting it down.
Spell out underscore.
Yes. UNDER. But anyway, yeah, at Twinkle. But yeah, no, it is obviously it's interwoven in how we market these things. I mean, look around you. You know, obviously it's all about multimedia. And creating a social networking, live, interactive experience so people can feel more connected. I mean, in the 80s, when we did movies, and if you just look at the celebrities of that time, the imagery of what was happening in the celebrity world, it was all about smoke and mirrors. It was all about, you know, we wanted stars that were unattainable, that were unreachable. That's why Michael Jackson was the biggest thing on earth. And nowadays, it's about who's the most real, who's the most down to earth, who's in your face, who's there, who you can touch, feel, taste. well, not taste, but maybe. But anyway, that's the point. The point is that it has evolved and it has changed quite a bit, and I think that's why what we're doing here now is so important, because it's about keeping that thread, that connection, which is why you'll find I write a blog, I have a Facebook, I have a MySpace, I have a Twitter, and all those things, because I like to reach as many people as I can.
Do you think it's harder or easier now?
To do what?
Well, just because you got to maintain so many different networks versus in the past, all you had to do was show up at a hotel.
Well, it's a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. No, I love the direct response with fans. I love the interaction, and hey, I've even been lucky enough to get a couple dates out of Facebook, so not a bad thing.
Is the Lost Boys comic in continuity with the third film?
There are certainly many references. The nice thing about the comic book series is that it's kind of like the Star Wars trilogy, where it's the prequel and it's the kind of button on it all at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it kind of wraps everything up really nicely. So if you're watching the 3 movies without reading the comic book, you're definitely going to miss a piece of the pie. However, if you read the comic book before seeing the second and third movie, you're going to get a lot more out of those movies. So, I did work very closely with Hans, even though I don't get writing credit for any of this stuff, but I did work actually on all the dialogue that Edgar Frog says in the comic book series. He was sending me rough drafts as he was moving along with it, as well as, obviously I was involved in writing on both the second and third film. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Two for you. One is, will the saxophone man ever make another appearance?
He was in the trial.
Oh my gosh.
You missed it.
I did miss it.
Yeah, you got to go watch it
He's
again.
so old looking now. Oh my
I
gosh,
play sax in the third movie.
Angry stuff.
Figured I've got enough hats on, might as well throw on a sax too. No, Scotty Page from Pink Floyd will be playing sax in the new movie.
Second one was, I caught the tail end. I don't think anybody back here caught it, but can you talk about the event that you were discussing?
Yes, Lost Boys Ball. Lost Boys Ball is coming soon to a city near you, hopefully. We're only doing 4 of them as of now. Like I said, this is the first time in history anything like this has ever happened. Never before has a studio and a live promotion event company come together to work on a project that is really promoting both a film and a concert. So really what it's creating is a 360 experience for the audience. Fans get to not only come and watch a concert of maybe their favorite band, or maybe see their favorite film on screen again for the first time in years, but they get to do it with members from the original cast, and they get to come dressed up themselves, so it really feels like they're part of the experience. So it's a very unique experience. It's, instead of dinner and a movie, it's dinner, concert, and a movie, and it's a costume party, and we're going to do giveaways, and there's a Q&A with original cast members after the event is over. So it's a 4-hour event. It's an evening with. We're only doing 4 of them right now because, as I said, it's on a test pattern, and just like the sequels to Lost Boys, it's all supply and demand. If we sell out every one of those shows, I guarantee you we're going to want to bring them to the rest of the country and the rest of the world, because I want to take this internationally. My idea is to basically spend the next 6 months touring this event all over the world, and then after that's done, get right back in, record a new album, simultaneously make another sequel to Lost Boys, and then do it all over again in a much more meaningful and productive way next time around. So I can see this going on for years and years and years. You guys aren't getting rid of me.
Who's confirmed for that?
Hey, Corey. What was it like?
Yeah,
I'm
I can't
sorry.
give anything away.
What was it like making the transition from actor to director with the making of this film?
I didn't direct this film.
Okay.
I executive
Well, I'm
produced.
corrected. Okay.
I executive produced, but thank you. Take the acclimate. I have directed in the past,
Okay.
which was, challenging, because it was actually the last film Corey Haim and I ever did together.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you don't count the few scenes that we did for Lost Boys, the Tribe, but yeah, I had to direct him, which was challenging, in a terrible, terrible movie called Busted. Which it's not terrible because I directed it, but it's terrible because they didn't allow me to do my job. So it was really, kind of taken out of my hands, and just dealing with bad B-movie production companies that have no idea what they're doing and would rather have TNA than any kind of creative insight.
Can't lose with the TNA. Yeah.
Never.
It's-
Corey?
In the new film, you actually work with wires because when wire flew, and you have CGI.